Hello, it's Richard. Welcome to this chair yoga video. So this video is really based on the chair yoga handout I make available to people who come to my chair yoga classes. And this is a handout of a number of different chair movements, chair postures. So the reason for this video is lots of people say to me, I really like to do the chair yoga. I'd like to do it on my own, but I can never remember what to do, which is a common thing within yoga. So I've taken some of the more popular postures and put them on this 4-page handout. This video is page 1. I'm going to do 4 videos because one video of all of the postures is going to be quite onerous. So this one video is just page 1, so it can allow you to navigate through. Now, the intention is that you become familiar with the movements themselves. You can identify from all of the 4 videos the movements that you like to do, and then you can build your own practice up around that. So what I'll do is I'll talk about the movements, the postures, and then demonstrate them, and then you can practice them on the video, and then you can get that you can refresh yourself on how they go, and then work around with the handout when you've got the handout as to what you want to do. Okay, so before we start, you can use any chair really. Ideally, I've got a basic kitchen chair here. It's got a bit of a sloping back, which is okay, but if you can get a flat back, that's good. Even if you've got arms, you can work around that. So don't worry too much if the only chair you've got has got arms. Don't let that be a barrier. I mean, the important thing is we do chair yoga. If you find that the chair is quite low, then you might want to get some books or something to prop yourself up. Ideally, we want a position where we can get about 90 degrees in the knees here. And if you find that the chair is quite high, you can use blocks or a book to plant your feet on. So you're not pressing too heavily into the backs of the legs. Okay, we try to sit away from the back of the chair throughout all of the postures to give us a nice, good posture. And so how I'm going to do this is bookend the whole of this with relaxation, grounding, breath awareness, which will be the very first thing we start. Now, before we start, there is obviously a cautionary note on the handout that please seek advice of your GP that you're okay to do exercises. Take responsibility for yourself. If there's something that we do, that I do on this video, that you're not comfortable doing, then don't do it. It really doesn't matter that you don't do it. There's plenty of movement in the other postures, probably for you, that you get a benefit of this. I mean, the key is to move, to stretch, to open the body, to breathe nice and softly through those movements. And that's really the objective. And that will in itself be good for you. Okay, going to start off in any yoga class, in any chair yoga class, it's the same. We start off with a sense of grounding. Grounding is really about bringing your mind, your awareness into your body, how you feel, just noticing yourself, noticing the feelings in your body, the sensations. So to do that, we find a mountain pose. A mountain pose in regular yoga is a standing posture, but in chair yoga, it's a seated posture. But what we try to do is get that nice stability through the body so we can release, soften the body. So bring your feet about hip width apart, and I'll come side on. So again, you want about 90 degrees, ankles under knees, so you can release your legs. So you're not actually tensing any muscles in your legs. And then you can feel the grounding of your sit bones, which are the bony protrusions at the bottom of your pelvis, on the chair. So rock forwards and backwards and find that grounding there. Then come to an upright position. Try to allow the spine to come upright without tensing and reaching, lifting up through the crown of the head or anything like that, but just find an upright position which will allow your ribs to open, release, allows the breath to flow freely in and out. And bring the head upright on top of the shoulders, so maybe tuck the chin in a little bit. Okay, just feel around the body how you feel. You can rest your hands on your lap, palms up, palms down, whatever's comfortable for you, and soften through your shoulders. Okay, so the breath work we're going to do is a technique I encourage everybody to do, which is diaphragmatical belly breathing in and out through the nose, nice, slow, rhythmic with good posture. Okay, so we'll talk all about that in a moment. So in this upright position, find yourself released, relaxed, soft in the body, and bring your attention to your breath. And we normally go for about 3 or 4 minutes on this. I'm not going to go for the full duration. I'm just going to talk you through the techniques. So you can close your eyes or fix your gaze down on the floor in front of you or directly ahead. And the first few breaths here, and you find this upright position, just feel how you feel in your body. Try to soften, release any tension anywhere. And as you breathe, just notice how you breathe. Just notice how deep the breath is, the frequency, the rate of the breath if you're breathing in through your mouth or your nose or a combination of the two. And this is all really about becoming aware of your body, your breath, keeping your mind on the breath and away from any distracting thoughts. So we're going to do a bit of controlled breathing now. So if you can, start to breathe gently in and out through your nostrils. And obviously, if that's not possible for you, then continue with using your mouth. Feel the air move in and out. Now, place one hand on your tummy, and now target the breath in down into the bottom part of the lungs. So the tummy pushes into your hand a little bit, and then naturally releases. Get a couple of these belly diaphragmatical breaths going. If this doesn't work for you, just breathe as you would do normally. If you can't breathe into your tummy, it will come in time. And once you establish that nice, gentle breath in and out through the nose into the tummy, I'm going to count you on the breath. We're going to breathe in for a count of 3, breathe out for a count of 4. And we're going to go after a count of 3. So 3, 2, 1. Breath in for 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath into the tummy, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 4, 3, 2, 1. In that through the nose, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, releasing the body, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Last one. Breath out, 4, 3, 2, 1. And normal breathing there. And you can continue with that breath if that's normal for you, if that works for you. So normally we do that for probably about 5 minutes. And that's really a great way to bring your attention to your breath, calm your mind down. It's a form of meditation, if you like. So we do that at the start and possibly at the end of a class. I would encourage you to try that maybe 3 times a day for 5 minutes, and maybe 2 to 3 to 4 times a week, and do it quite regularly, consistently. Adjust the timing that suits you so that you can breathe comfortably for that 5 minutes. Target your breath into the tummy, in and out through the nose. That is a really great technique to practice, because what that will do, however you breathe normally, it will start to slow your breath down, and you will breathe in a way that is good for the body. I've written a whole lot of stuff on breath, and I do teach breath training, breath techniques. Not going to go into it too great here, but if you can just take that as your breath practice, that will start to really improve your sleep. It will allow you to be a lot more relaxed, released, able to deal with stress a lot more efficiently, effectively. And it will do good things with your body, your breath, your heart, your blood pressure. Okay, so I'm going to go straight onto the movements now. So the next movement on page 1 are shoulder shrugs. Okay, so upright position again. And the shoulder shrugs are lifting the shoulders up towards the earlobes and letting them go. So not just the first couple, just lift up and lower down controlled. Okay, you're just feeling that range of movement. Your scapula, your shoulder blades are sliding up the ribs and down the ribs. Just feeling, noticing how you feel with this movement. What we do when we get really quite tense in our body, we get adrenaline, cortisol released into the blood, and this activates our fight or flight muscles, of which your trapezius, your big triangular muscle in your back, is your fight or flight muscle in your upper body. And when that gets tense, full of adrenaline, it tends to lift your shoulders up, and you can walk around quite sort of tense up here, maybe develops some sort of achiness, stiffness in your neck. So these shoulder shrugs are a great way just to see how you feel in your body. Once you've just done a few of those movements, draw your shoulders up And then after a count of 3, 2, 1, release. And do this a couple of times, just releasing the shoulders. Great indicator of how much stress you're carrying in your body. Okay, and really gets the scapula moving up and down. Okay, once you've done those a few, you can maybe roll the shoulders as well, shoulder shrugs this way and then the other way, feeling how that range of movement is with your hands resting on your lap. Okay, and then maybe both arms at the same time. And you might not have too much movement in your shoulders, which again is another reason why we just try it. And if your shoulders aren't moving when you're trying to move them, don't worry too much about that. The effect of trying to do it is always going to be enough. Okay, the next one is cat-cow. Cat-cow is a spinal movement. I'm going to come side on for this. So upright position, again, you've got the natural curvature of your spine. We're going to try and move whole of the spine from the base of the lumbar spine to the top of the cervical spine under the skull here. So first movement is cow pose, which is a chest lift, shoulders come backwards, a little bit of an arch, an inward arch in the lower back. And the cat pose, angry cat pose, is rounding your back, dropping your head, tucking your chin in, pulling your tummy button in like an angry cat. So go backwards and forwards like this. So we're extending the spine, making the spine really long, lifting the head up, looking up, and then we're flexing the spine, tighten everything up, rounding through the back, pulling the belly button in, tucking the chin in. Nice, gentle movement. First couple are really exploratory, just loosening it off where you can. And then once you start moving a little bit more, you get a little bit more movement. Think of the spine as a bicycle chain and might have a couple of stiff links in the lower back there. So what do we do with a bicycle chain? Any cyclists out there, you'll know we have to wiggle those links to get them moving again, which is exactly what we're doing here. You can apply the breath here, which I really like doing. As you breathe in, you might want to lift your chest up, lift your head up, arch your lower back. As you breathe out, you might want to round back as you fold in. Okay, so try to do these as often as you can. You don't even need to be doing a regular yoga practice to do this. It's great just to get the spine moving, cat-cows. Okay, roll downs now. This is all associated with the upper spine. So upright through the body, looking forward, tuck the chin in, try to roll the cervical spine. Now, these are the discs and the vertebra from the base of your skull all the way down to the very first bony protrusion in your upper back. It's a very gentle movement, and maybe some of the upper thoracic vertebra as well. Tucking the chin in, rolling the top of the shoulders. It's a really restricted movement. You might find it's not really feeling like it's doing anything, but still try doing it. Again, with the frequency of these, it's really down to the individual. I would try to do maybe go for about a minute if you can. Or start with between 5 and 10, see how you go, and then build it up. Just to get enough to get the tissue loosed in, the tissue soft, and the body moving. Hug twists. Okay, hug twists. So we're going for a little rotation through the spine now. Give yourself a hug. It could be anything, arms crossed around on the shoulders or around the sides, and gently start twisting, gently at first, just to find that range of movement. Taking head around with the shoulders. Once you've done that a few times, maybe come all the way around, hold it here, then very slowly turn the head away in the opposite direction and hold it here. Taking a few shallow breaths here because the diaphragm is a bit restricted. Come all the way to the front and then go around to the other side. Turn the head in that direction and then bring the head in the opposite direction. And then maybe a few more hug twists, get the body loosened and go again. You'll notice when you do these, the very first time you do the longer hold, it's quite tight. So the dynamic movement of going backwards, forwards, in and out, really good to loosen the tissue, and you go a little bit deeper the second time around. But you'll find that as you experiment with the movements. Okay, neck movements now. Again, cervical spine. First one is a rotation through, just turning the head, keeping the body upright, turning the head very slowly at first, explorative, and then you can do that a few times. Go around and hold, squeeze it in, just feel that compression in your neck, breathing nice and softly. Try not to hold your breath in any of these movements. You can come around to the other side and hold there, and maybe a few more dynamic movements just to see. And then we go again for a deeper hold maybe. Each time you're lengthening, stretching the connective tissue, getting that movement in. Okay, up and downs are really good as well. So lifting the chin up, bringing the chin, tucking the chin in, squeezing. Lifting the chin up, looking up, tilting the head backwards, squeezing through the front of the throat here. Down, a few dynamic movements to start off with, exploratory, just feeling how you feel in your body, and then go for a deeper hold. Stay here, look up, and then when you're ready, chin in, down. Okay, lateral flexion is quite an unusual one. So nice and soft in the shoulders. So lower one shoulder down, and then tilts the head in the opposite direction. Okay, that's one way of doing it, and then you'll feel that tension through the side of the muscles, side of the neck here, through the muscles of the tissue, and come back up, and then lower the other shoulder down and tilt away. Another way of doing this is to take one hand out to the side and bring the opposite hand over the top of the head, and gently rest the hand on the head, not pulling it down, but reach forwards with that straight arm as you side bend away. You'll feel that tension in the side of the body here. There's not really too much dynamic movement here. This is really more of a static, but you'll feel that tension in the body. Okay, and it's not often we do these movements, these lateral flexion movements, particularly around the cervical spine, which is one of the reasons we do them in seated yoga. It's because it gives us that movement in the neck, in the upper spine. It allows the joints to open slightly. Once you've done that a few times, maybe just a few dynamic sides, up and down. Another one is the half circle, if you like. So bring your head around to one side, look at one shoulder, and then come down to the front, tuck the chin in around the sternum, and then turn and look up to the other shoulder. So that nice side to side movement. Or you can take circles with your head. Anything that moves the neck around its range of movement is good for your neck. Okay, sit and reach is the next one. To the edge of your chair a little bit. Feet grounded, mountain pose with the feet, knees on top of ankles. This is taking the arms out in front of you and stretching with the arms. I'll come side on. So it's not a forward bend, it's stretching round in the shoulders, stretching through the arms and looking forwards. You can take a bit of dynamic here. You can bring the elbows backwards, keep them flat, pull the elbows back, and then sit and reach. So the back stays upright. And it's really the shoulder complex that's moving. Okay, you'll see that you're reaching forwards. Once you've done a few dynamic movements, you'll feel that go a little bit longer. You can stretch and reach a little bit further. Again, opening the tissue up really feels good for your shoulders. Let's do this. Squeezing backwards stretches through the front of the chest, and go again. Okay, that's really good for the shoulders, actually. I always feel when I do these postures how tight I really am. And that's any time of the day. And I teach yoga and I'm still tight. So everybody gets tight unless they start moving their body. And this is essentially what we're trying to do, is open up the body and try to breathe throughout all these practices. Arm raises, okay. So upright through the body here, shoulders on top of hips, arms down the side, draw the arms up. Okay, and you can reach up here and then down. You can do this with the breath. So breathe in, bring the arms up. Maybe the palms come together and down. Now, some of us are going to struggle with this, with shoulder impingements, with issues with shoulders, rotator cuff. So maybe just one arm up if the other arm isn't willing, isn't available to you, okay? Or maybe draw one arm up as high as you can, okay? It's all movement, and that's what we do. We try to get the body moving as best we can with whatever constraints we've got. Everybody's got constraints in their body somewhere, okay? Movement's the key. Okay, so arm raises. Now wrist pulls, fingers back. So before we do this, I would encourage you to just gently roll your wrists, okay? Roll your wrists around in circles, just get that nice range of movement. Now, some of us are really tight in our wrists and knuckles, so be very, very careful with this. Only go with what's comfortable for you. Maybe shake your wrists off a little bit. It's a nice movement here. And one thing I like to do with the arm raises is roll the wrists forwards, lifting the arms up, roll the wrists backwards, letting the arms come down. 2 for the price of 1. Okay, so wrist flexions, arm out in front, palm faces up, fingers pressed together, grab hold of the fingers, pull them back, and then gently lift the elbow up so you get that nice straight arm, and then gently, a few gentle pullbacks of the fingers to get the movement through the carpal tunnel, those tenderness tissues where your fingers start on your forearm, and then pull back, and really feel that tension here. There's a posture we do in yoga that does this when we're on our front. We should hold there for maybe 5 breaths, nice slow breaths in, breaths out, and then shake the hand off. Okay, shake the hand off, go again on the other side. So again, arm out in front, bend the elbows so you can grab the fingers, and then pull the fingers back and then lift the elbow crease up, pulling it back, breathe in nice and softly, and release and shake off. Okay, and you can do the same thing with the fingers. You can gently pull each finger back a little bit. Lots of stuff we can do with the hands in terms of moving through the knuckles, the fingers. Lots of us, including myself, a bit of osteoarthritis in the knuckles. So play around with those. Chest stretch is the next one. Chest stretch, we use the hands on the back of the chair. I'm going to bring the chair side on here so you can see. Okay, bottom of the chair, draw the shoulders back, chest lifts forward, really feel that stretch through. And again, you can do this dynamically. And after the third one, draw it back, chest lift, squeezing your shoulder blades towards each other, feeling that tension in the body. 3 to 4 to 5 breath hold here, really squeeze and feeling that nice stretch. And release. Okay, with these ones that we do a slight back bend, I'm going to introduce, it's not on the handout this, but I'm going to show you a dangle. So take your feet out nice and wide, hands come down between the legs, on the edge of your chair, tuck your chin in, lean forward, let the arms dangle, and release any tension in your back, your shoulders, your lower back, let the head hang, soften the head and the neck, just finding gravity passively pulling you down. This is a slight inversion. Now, if you've got high blood pressure, go really steady and carefully with this. If you're really concerned about your blood pressure, then try not to do this. But if you're okay with blood pressure, just allow the head to come down passively, using gravity to stretch your back, your spine. Slowly come back up. When you come up, you might find yourself a little bit lightheaded. Just take it easy, hands on your knees, and then maybe a few heel taps. So that's not on the handout, but it's a counter pose in yoga. So a counter pose is we stretch the body in one way. This way we extend it through the spine as we lifted the chest and stretch through the front here. And the counter pose would be an inversion of an inverse of that, or a contradiction of that, or to go the other way, just to give that nice two backwards forwards type movement. Okay, so that was chest stretch. Chest opener, similar sort of thing really, but the hands are slightly further up the chair. Come to the edge of your chair, lean forward, and you can really feel the whole body now start to work. So the lower part of the spine is starting to have a good stretch. Again, squeezing the shoulder blades together, looking forwards. A breath count of 5 here. Breathing nice and softly. And why the breath's so important here is because you continue the breathing, you keep all the fluids moving in the body. So all the waste that we create, the acids, the atrophy, the byproducts, the toxins in the body, when the body opens up in some of these stretches, the blood washes in and then cleans it up, takes it all the way out of the body lymphatic system out through the breath. And the breath is super important to keep that process moving. Okay, easy back bend, hands behind head. I'll just swivel around here. Hands behind your head, and then elbows back, shoulders back, chest lifts, look up, squeeze in. You might want to do a couple of dynamics here where you just release off, bring the elbows towards each other, and then lift up and come forwards a little bit and lift up and hold and look up and think how wonderful the world is. You feel that tension in your body, breathing nice and softly. And release. Cactus forwards bend, cactus arms effectively are surrender. So it's elbows about shoulder height, palms face forwards, about 90 degrees in the elbows. Okay, that's your cactus arms. Now a forward bend, you don't have to keep swiveling around like me. I'm just giving you a little bit of more sort of a show of what this looks like. A forward bend is pull the tummy button in and a lower back stays quite flat and you lean forwards. So you draw the elbows back as you lean forwards. There's a lot going on here. So the breath is quite tricky. You have to breathe still nonetheless, but feel that tension, that effort needed to hold this posture. You can take a little to a couple of dynamic movements to get into it. Lean forward, draw the elbows back, lean forward, look up. and release. And that will start to raise your heart rate and get the blood pumping, get some warmth in your body. So if you want some invigorating movements in your own sequence, then I would certainly recommend cactus forward bend. Sun salutations, we're going to come on to now. So sun salutations are a mix of a number of different postures, all strung together with a breath. So we start off on the edge of our chair. Try to slide your feet forwards a little bit so you get a little bit of length in your body. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do two of these. I'm going to do one frontal so you can see me, and then the other side on. So drop the hands down the side of the body, upright through the body. With a slow breath in, draw the arms up as high as you can. Palms come up above you. At the end of that breath in, breathe out and float your hands down onto your knees. As you breathe in, it's cow pose as we did earlier, shoulders back, chest lifts, look up, arching through the lower back. At the end of that breath in, as you breathe out, you slide your hand forward, come to a little bit of a forward bend. As you slide forward, you feel that stretch through your back. You can stay here, take a couple of breaths here, nice and slow in this forward bend, stretching through the back. Or with a breath in, you can stay with your hands on your legs, lift your chest up, lengthen through the back, lift the crown of the head forwards as you lengthen. As you breathe out, you can fold forwards. As you breathe in, you can turn to one side, take one hand out to the side and turn and look up at that hand as it lifts up. And as you breathe out, bring that hand back down to the leg. You get the idea. So breath and movement, breathe in, turn to the other side and turn and look to the side, look up. And breath out, come all the way down. Breath in, slowly bring your hands all the way up, come to an upright position. Breath out, release your hands down the side of the body. Breath in, lift the hands up nice and high. Breath out, hands down onto your knees. So that's the sequence of movements. Nice breath to move. It's a mindful process. It's moving the body, moving the spine in some good ranges of movement. I'll come side on, okay? So with a breath in, hands out nice and wide, upright through the body, nice and straight and upright. Breath out, hands down onto your knees. Breath in, it's cow pose. Shoulders back, chest lifts, look up, arching through the lower back. And breath out, sliding the hands down to the floor. Forward bend here. Breath in, half lift as you lift your chest up, lift your head up, look forwards. Breath out, fold forwards. Breath in, turn into one side for a twist. And breath in, turn to the other side for a twist. Breath out. Breath in, pull your tummy button in, engaging your core muscles, come up. Breath out, release the shoulders. Breath in, lift the hands up nice and high. And breath out, hands down onto your knees. And you can do 4 or 5 of those in sequence. It's great to get the body moving. If that's all you want to do in your home practice, that's absolutely fine. Sun salutations are really good. Arm circles as they might appear. His arms out nice and wide. Circles here, equal circles. You can go forwards. You can go backwards. You can take small circles and build them up. Big haymakers. And then bring them down again. Nice movement through the body here, keeping your tummy pulled in. You go back. You can making some arms. What I like doing is getting the hemispheres of the brain communicating with each other. So arm circles coming forwards, and after 3, 2, 1, turn one in the opposite direction. See how that works for you. And go forwards again. After 3, 2, 1, the other one goes in the other direction, which for me doesn't work. And you'll find out yourself how it works with your brain. And you can do the same going backwards. Thinking about the movement takes your mind off the movement, and you can actually go a bit funky with it. You can do whatever you want with your arm movements, get them out there moving. Okay, arms above and reach. Now, again, if you struggle with this, you can maybe hand one arm up, one on your hip, and it's a sort of a side bend or a reach up. Pull your tummy button in when you reach, okay? So that's what it would look like with one arm compromised maybe or constrained. But if you can, arms up nice and high. Pull your tummy button in, support the lumbar spine. Palms come together. Keep your sit bones grounded on the chair and a sort of reaching up to one side. Not really a side bend as such, but it's more of an opening of the body on this side, reaching up. And then come up, sit bones grounded, reaching across. What you can do is circle your fingers around the wrist, draw the arm up, lift up as high as you can, and then sit bones grounded, reach over the top and change over. So circling around the wrist, lift the arm up, get that nice stretch through the ribs and reach. And when we get these very gentle reaches and stretches, try to target your breath into the space that you're creating in that side of the lung. So if I'm lifting up and I'm reaching over to the left, I'm going to breathe into the right lung, the right side of the body to allow the breath to expand into that space. Really, really good to help your respiration, improve your respiration. Okay, nearly there. Okay, leg extensions, ankle rolls. So leg extensions, ankle rolls, great to get the lower body moving. Now you can see I've got a backward lift, backward lean here, so which isn't really good. So if you've got an upright chair, it's better, but never mind. Sit towards the back of your chair, lift one leg up, and then lift the other leg up. Just get a few little dynamic movements, get the hip flexors working and the quadriceps working. You can do this as many times as you like. And then we're going to go static. So we'll lift one leg up, point the toes, pull the toes back a couple of times, get that movement through your ankle, just see how that feels for you. Everybody's quite different here in terms of range of movement. And then drawing some circles with that ankle, one way and the other way, one way, the other way. Okay, and then back, and then the other leg up, some ankle flexion, extension, and some circles here. One thing I've been doing lately in my classes is rotating the whole leg. So it comes out of the hip, this does. So with the ankle flexed, roll the whole leg outwards. That's quite a nice movement for your hip. Find your hips are okay with that. So Donald Duck and pigeon, Donald Duck, pigeon, Donald Duck, pigeon. Maybe both legs out, same thing. You can play around with it. If you are both legs out, definitely sit back in the back of your chair. And then, okay. But essentially, that's really a case of lifting the leg and the ankle flexions, extensions, rotations. And finally on page 1, hip openers. So I'll come back. Hip openers. So far, we've been moving in the sagittal plane, forwards and backwards, coming out. So heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. I'll come back a bit so you can see my heels and my toes. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Feet out nice and wide. Okay, and then maybe a few heel taps here. Just get some compression into your hips, get your glutes working. One version of hip openers. Come up onto your toes. Another version is bringing your feet backwards a little bit onto your toes, bending your knees, and then on your toes, a few clams. So you can take your hands onto the chair, onto your hips, use your glute muscles here. Nice dynamic movement, and then drawing back and holding back and pulling back, not with your hands, but with your glutes. You'll feel that effort needed. Really nice hip opening stretch. Okay, another version of hip openers is lifting one leg up, and if you're okay in your hips, and again, this is one of those which is a little bit like some people really struggle with hip mobility. This is a rotation of the hip, supporting the leg with the hands, so the hip is quite soft and you're moving the joint capsule. And on the other leg, that again is a nice hip opener if it's there for you. But obviously be careful, be compassionate with yourself, be mindful of the restrictions you've got. But also, on the other hand, movement's the key. You know, if it really feels marginally uncomfortable, I'd certainly explore how that feels if I move it a few times. Okay. Good, so that's page 1. I'm not going to do any more on this video. I'm going to do another video for page 2 and so on. So the takeaways of this, breath is really important. See if you can practice that breath work, did it right at the start. Take responsibility for yourself, explore the movements, go into them very gently at first, maybe add a little bit of two throw dynamic movement to loosen the tissue off, and then go for a static hold. When we hold the breath, hold the postures, I go for about 3 or 4 breaths. Nice, slow in, out is 1 breath. So 3 or 4 breaths is, you know, 10, 15 seconds, if you want to count in seconds. Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you on the next video. And again, if you want a copy of this this handout, please get in touch with me. There'll be something that comes up on the screen at some point with my details. Okay, take care. See you soon.